upright. I'm getting ready to leave my tent. I shouldn't have turned this off. My hands are cold. So I'm turning my warmer back on. So if you've watched my video about this little bastard, this little Ozark Trail hand warmer, let me see. I've had it on for less than an hour at medium, and it's at 75. That's 4 hours. That's significantly fewer than the 8 hours to 6 to 8 hours they promised me. Anyway, it says explicitly in the packaging not to use it, not to charge it, or use it as a charger with anything other than the cord it comes with. And the cord it comes with is garbage. They always do that. My last ex, I was trying to get into music production. I wanted to make music. I had a bass and I wanted a drum set. I wanted an electric drum set real bad. And so I was looking at kids' toys, effectively, musical kids' toys that were under $100 that would allow me to make music. And she got it in her head that what I wanted was a MIDI keyboard. I don't know how to play piano, and I could never figure out the plugins and stuff to make it make noise. And then the one time I was actually able to make it make a little bit of noise, I couldn't figure out how to record it. So anyway, that's a me problem. I had this MIDI keyboard, is what I'm trying to tell you, and it explicitly said in the warranty information not to use it with a different cord than what comes with it. And then the cord that came with it wouldn't read to my computer, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm doing exactly what the instructions tell me to do. I'm being a good boy. I'm following the rules so I can keep my warranty if this thing decides to shit out on me. And then I get online and I start looking, and every single person that has the problem that I'm having with this thing is going, yeah, you can't use the cord. The cable that comes with it is garbage. You can't use the cable that comes with it. It won't work. So I switched to a better cable. I switched to a cable that, I think it came with a phone. I'm not actually sure where it came from. But a longer, thicker, just better cable, and it works just fine now. So that's good news. I have to pee like real bad. You ever wake up and just have to pee so bad you don't want to move, and you just hope that you hope it'll go away, and then you sit up and it's like, nope, 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 it's so much worse. Yeah, imagine that with no pelvic floor muscles. I'm sorry for asking you to empathize with me. I know I'm not allowed to do that. And so today I'm getting ready. And I've already had a couple of thoughts that have come and gone, and because they've come and gone, they're just gone forever. I'll never get back to them. I won't remember that I had them. But today's Sunday, and I could sit here and I could read more Job, but nobody's watched those and nobody's commented on them. The only comments I ever get are negative and critical. Negative, intended to be hurtful, and critical. Like you guys think I'm rich. Or like you think I won't punch back, Caruso. You're gonna make one more negative comment about me and my homelessness and how I'm lesser than you because I'm homeless, and I'm gonna punch out at you with your name on the title. So keep it up. It's astounding to me how many of you have personalities typified by bullying behaviors. It is astounding to me how French you fucks are. Because you don't know dick about shit, and you most certainly don't know anything about history. See, you might call it abusive, but my parents raised me to be almost desensitized, conditioned to poverty, prepared for it. Like the books they had me, my mother especially had me reading when I was a boy, were things like The Prince and the Pauper. The first book I remember her buying for me as a gift and saying, I want you to read this, was the whipping boy. So that was abusive. That was about abuse. That was about conditioning me to her abuse. But the point remains that my parents did their best, insofar as their best is what it was, to condition me to the poverty that I was going to experience, the grinding poverty that I was going to live through as a child. And fuck you, my hair looks just fine, bro. In fact, dudes pay a lot of money. Dudes pay a lot of money to have their hair look like this. In public, on TV. Dudes pay a lot of money. A lot of money. And look at how good that shit is. Look at how thick and healthy that fucking shit is. Eat my ass, bro. Dudes pay a lot of money. Think of, I'm thinking of that 80s guy, the white wedding guy. Pays a lot of money to keep his hair looking as good as mine. Dudes will attack your hair because they think that it's attacking your virility, and bro, dudes pay a lot of money. And let me tell you right now, my head turns a lot of attractive young women's necks. That's why you fuckers come at me. You see a moderately attractive, ultra confident dude, and what you want to do is attack me like a woman at the level of my personality. But what you don't know is that I'm a victim of about six female psychopaths in a row. And so, fool me. What is the line Amy says? Fool me 6 times, shame on me. Fool me 7 times, shame on you. Is that how it goes? Probably not. It's probably fool me 6 times, shame on me. Fool me 7 times, shame on you, right? And that's why I said, fuck you. Making me doubt myself. Nah, self-doubt's good. Self-doubt is true self-belief. Self-doubt's true self-confidence. Nobody will ever tell you that. Nobody will ever just say it outright. Self-doubt, doubting yourself, it's true self-confidence. When you woke up, so you're built like me. You're 6'2", I'm not 180. But let's say you're a healthy weight and you can carry a healthy weight and you're fit enough that you can be in this situation. You're 6'2", 180. You're carrying a pretty good but very lean body mass. And you walk up on a man who's 6'4", 360, and now you have to tackle him to the ground while you both are running at one another at full speed. Confidence is stepping the fuck out of the way. Confidence is being able to do that math in real time, and as Deion Sanders called it, making the business decision to get the fuck out of that man's way. I'm not talking about the Lions. Their fans are going to be feeling this way. Their defenders made a lot of business decisions last night against those Commanders. Their secondary made a lot of business decisions as regards Jalen Daniels. I don't think they had a season opening starter on the field that wasn't named Alex Anzalone, and he can only be so many places at once. And give the man his due. Give the man his due. Cliff Kingsbury, he designed an offense that was going to have the Lions and their backups and their alternates and their brand new dudes on the roster, and Alex Anzalone out of position all night, making business decisions, second guessing themselves. When you walk up to a cliff, say you walk up to the Grand Canyon, and you're confident in yourself and your ability to leap great distances, and then you see how far across the Great Canyon actually is, and you judge that distance accurately, and you accurately gauge your ability to jump across it, you are being confident when you say, yeah, I'm not doing that. I am confident that I cannot do that. I am aware enough of myself and my abilities, and I am confident enough in what I have already accomplished that I don't need to die at the bottom of the Grand Canyon today. See what I'm saying? And then you start to notice that that also sounds an awful lot like we're talking about self-satisfaction. Uh-oh. He's talking about why he's homeless, folks. You should be able to do that. Not just to me, but you should be able to psychoanalyze the people around you too. You know, as much as you think you can cold read people, as much as you think you're a Sherlock Holmes style psych, what's his name? Spencer? That you're that style and intellect, that you're able to look at a person and analyze the situation accurately enough to make split-second decisions about that person, split-second judgments about that person, their quality, their worth. But if we were to really sit down with it, and I were to ask you what your method is, the steps through which you go to get from A to B, A to Z, you would tell me that you never liked algebra. It's like, well, wait a minute. I'm not asking you for the math of oops, what have I done here? I'm not asking you for the equation. I'm not asking you for the math, folks. I'm asking you for your methodology. And you don't have one. You're scattershot. You're random. Yes, you're going to watch me clean up my tent a little bit. I have been deliberately using, yep, and for good reason. I have been deliberately using the trash that I generate. Especially and for very good reason, I've been using the bags of chips that I eat at night for dinner as insulation, and many of them are soaking wet. And because they are soaking wet, that damp, that wet, that leached through my weatherproofing isn't on the inside of my tent, and now it's about to be in a dumpster. Man, I'm so fucking smart. It almost pisses me off in a legitimate way. That was one of the things I thought about this morning. I was thinking about I was watching Magic Shadow. I was watching his Twitch stream this morning, and happy to do it, glad to do it. I was watching his Twitch stream while I lay there, and I made about 45 cents actually playing video games. I know, I sound like the commercials. It's so funny. I want to talk more about how I do that, but I sound like the commercials. So really what I need to do is I need to reach out to one of these companies. I need to get their attention on Twitter and be like, hey bros, I have a YouTube channel. I have no views, but I'm homeless and I'm actually surviving by using your app. I talk about it all the fucking time. Maybe you could throw a bro a bone. Paid promo spot, and I'll live stream. Gotta shake my clothes down onto my body. That's the easiest way to do it. It's the sexiest way too. The women at the kitchen, the poor people kitchen that I go to, or the free food kitchen called Christ Table. I don't know. I don't actually know what it's called. I think they actually call it a church on Google. But Christ Table. I do that. I get up every day and I shake myself down into my clothes like that. The women who work there all watch me do it every time. And I pretend like I gotta put you in my pocket. I pretend like I don't notice them watching me every time, but they're watching me every time. Whew. Okay. Whee! So in order to make this safe for myself, I tamped all this snow down into a little patio, you might say, outside of my tent, and it's just a little sheet of ice about an inch thick, and that's funny to me. And here we go. Off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Anyway, I was watching Madge, and I was thinking about a story that I could have told from last night when I went into the Dollar Tree, but you guys don't watch them, so I'm not motivated to tell you everything that's going on in my life, even when it's cute and interesting stuff. And so I go up to the register, and I've come to the conclusion that the reason these women don't initiate to say hello to me is because I'm moderately attractive, and they get nervous. And they're used to moderately attractive dudes being rude. I'm gonna turn you around here. Also, I might put you in my pocket for the rest of the walk because it's colder today than it was yesterday. I didn't bring my good gloves and I can already not feel my hands. Whew. But I've also got my little pocket, got my little warmer in my pocket. But anyway, so I go in there, and again, just an average woman. You don't have to be beautiful. And I keep thinking about this, that, you know, I made all these videos yesterday about how body modification surgeries, and ooh, it's a lot colder today. I should have. Okay. Yeah, you gotta go in the pocket. I'm sorry. Body modifications and clothing and makeup. How there's an unspoken danger with all that stuff. But you if you're me, you're gonna put yourself into a position, if you talk about that stuff honestly and you talk about that danger, you're putting yourself into a position to be allied with by men's rights dudes. You're putting yourself, I can't even remember any of their names, Andrew Tate. You're inviting yourself into the conversation with dudes like Andrew Tate. And they're going to assume that you're an ally. But dudes like Andrew Tate have really expensive haircuts. Whew. And an expensive haircut is one of those things that's dangerous. It's in that same category of this behavior. So really, men's rights dudes who are like, no push-up bras, no shapewear, no makeup, none of that. And then trad wives who try to capitalize on it. It's a lot colder than I thought it was going to be. Oh, it's going to be brutal walking home tonight. Man. Do this to myself. My backpack is almost too full. Whew. Almost too full to actually grab my good gloves and my other two. It's a hat and a neck for these things. But anyway. I say hi, and I chit chat with her. I ask her how her night's doing. I'm not flirting. I'm just making small talk. That's what you're supposed to do. And women in this town very clearly think it's a moderately attractive man's responsibility to make small talk, so they don't seem like they're flirting, and so he doesn't get the idea in his head that they're flirting, and I respect that. So. Small talking, Asked how she's doing, how her night's going, you know. It's almost over. She's only got 20 minutes left. Yeah, it's good. How are you doing? I said, oh, I'm dumber than hell. And she actually laughed out loud. So, you know, I could have told that story, but it's a non-story. But the moral of the story is to just be nice. And sometimes making fun of yourself for taking too long to do routine things is funny, especially to people who deal with hundreds of people who take too long to do routine things and make it their fault, like they're doing something wrong. And so I was thinking about calling myself dumber than hell. Matt asked me how I was doing, and it made me think of that story. And I was thinking about something else. I was thinking about something else I had said, and something else I had done, and there we go. He asked me how I was doing, and I started to tell him that I was feeling dumber than hell. And then, no, I started to tell him that nobody had ever accused me of being smart before. And then I got to thinking about it as I was typing that out, and I just deleted it out because I figured I would end up talking about it in front of a microphone at some point today, and here we are. I was, the reason I didn't say that nobody has ever accused me of being smart before is because I once lost a job, and the reason I was given for why I wasn't any longer a good fit at that company is because I was too smart. All she would say, she hands me this write-up to tell me I'm being let go. And all she'll say is, you're just too smart. You're just too smart. That's all she just kept saying it like a mantra. You're just too smart. You're just too smart. And I just look at her like, that cannot be the reason you're firing me. Like, you don't have to give me a reason. I'm in Ohio. We're a right-to-work state. You don't have to give me a reason at all. But that cannot be what you're telling me right now. It just can't be. So, anyway, moral of the story is, someone has accused me of being smart before. That was a bad thing. But then I really got to thinking about that too, and I got to thinking about, what does it even mean? Like, why would it be a bad thing to be smart? It used to be a really good thing to have a person in your community who was abnormally smart, unusually smart, smarter than everybody else in the community. Communities used to live right on the edge of extinction. Whew, gotta put you in the pocket again. Communities used to live right on the brink of extinction. So intelligence was sexually selective. But see, that's the thing, is like, what I really bounced off thinking about that is that we don't judge people the same anymore. And it's not that we don't judge people the same. We do. We just don't know we're doing it. Humans as a species, we judge one another based on our offspring. But we do it in what you might think is a paradoxically inverse fashion. Men are not judged for their sons. Men are judged for their daughters. This is why young fathers get all confused when they try to turn their sons into themselves, and they don't understand why their sons are more like their wives than like the boys' mothers than they are like the father. It's like the harder you try to push that, the same gender child coming out like you, the less likely it is to happen. The point is, mothers are judged for the sons. They're judged for the quality and the deeds of the son. Because the quality and the deeds of the son are reflected in how the son treats women. And boys learn how to treat girls from their mothers. And so if you're mad at a boy, women, if you're mad at a male outside your family or even inside your family, you're mad at his mom. You're not mad at him. He learned that behavior from his mom. Does it get him off the hook? No. Not if he was an adult when he did that behavior that hurt you. But he learned it from his mom. His mom taught him to do that. His mom justifies it and makes it okay. So until you get at his mom and convince his mom that his behavior is bad, he's never going to change his behavior. This is why Italian dudes make famously polarizing husbands. Jewish dudes as well. Well, Mediterranean dudes in general. Fathers are judged by their daughters. See, men end up having a better relationship with their grandchildren and with their sons-in-law than they do with their biological sons. Especially young men, young fathers. Because until you're in your 50s, you're in this constant, quiet competition with other sexually viable males. And if you don't know that's happening, you're actually going to sexually abuse and traumatize all your male children. That's just what happens. It's a human pattern that you're not going to break if you're not aware of it. Ask Neil Gaiman. Ask him if he felt threatened by his son. And that's why he did the abhorrent things he did. I'm very serious. It's ugly, but you know what? TikTok's supposed to be shutting off today, which means that the conversation here on YouTube is about to get very childish. These shorts, this community is about to become very childish, very, 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 very stupid, very fast. And if we adults, we intelligent, thinking, honest, truth-speaking people don't do those things, don't have honest conversations about the truth, this civilization is lost. It's lost. I'm reading a book about witches, about witch hunts, and every time a civilization goes insular, witch hunts come next. Well, if we're insulating our children from being able to just accidentally ingest Chinese media, the Chinese worldview, what comes next is anti-Chinese and anti-Russian worldview witch hunts, which means you're going to start seeing lynchings again in the United States. And that has nothing to do with Trump, but it has everything to do with being insulated. Because what this book actually comes down on the opinion of is that witch hunts actually do make a civilization stronger on the other side of the witch hunts. So I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing that we're going to go around hunting down these people that are turning our children into eunuchs. But it's coming. And if we're not intelligent and we don't push back even a little bit, they're going to come for you too.